Thanks for joining me today to learn more about a recent project we completed at Mediacurrent. Learn from our experience building one of the world's largest decoupled Gatsby sites. Hi, I'm Mark Shropshire, and you can call me Shrop. I absolutely love helping others, creativity, and technology. I enjoy identifying great technology early and diving deeply in so I can help create stable and performant platforms which will grow with my clients' needs over time. Let's dive into today's agenda just a bit. We're going to open up with a bit about higher ed news at scale, some background on the business needs for the project. Then we're going to talk about the technical architecture, some of those decisions that we made along the way. And then the most interesting aspect, I think, of this talk is scaling with Gatsby. It's those things that we learned along the way to help us manage the scale of this enormous site. And we'll wrap with some key takeaways that you can take back to your projects following this talk. At Mediacurrent, we bring together the most talented team members to provide world-class open source solutions for the web. While we're known for building enterprise Drupal websites, we really have a big heart for Gatsby and what it provides our clients. Let's get started and talk a bit about the scale of the project and how it serves university constituents. This project serves a huge community of faculty, staff, students, and alumni at a prestigious public university. 80,000 students, it's a pretty big set of campuses. While the Gatsby front-end site is critical to the success of the overall project, the Drupal backend serves the campus mission by allowing approximately 250 content editors access to produce the necessary content. The Drupal backend not only provides data via APIs for Gatsby, but also provides and serves more than 70 related campuses and websites. Drupal also drives multiple email newsletters to campus constituents. With 65,000 stories and over 111,000 images, the scale of the site is vast. Let's dive into the site's technical architecture. Drupal is a powerful open source content management framework. Some of the reasons we often pick Drupal to provide the backend for Gatsby sites include it's open source. With a large and established community, it also has a volunteer security team. With robust workflows, you can make Drupal function in a way that works best for your project. It's highly customizable. When it comes to empowering content editors, Drupal's content authoring experience is absolutely critical to the success of any traditional website and very important for decoupled sites. So editors can create and see what they expect through content layout and previews of that content. Drupal has an API-first architecture. That means that editorial content already is accessible to all content consumers. For example, websites, digital signage, even native applications. Content authoring at a scale such as this university news project requires a robust system to handle the 250 content contributors, all with different access to the editorial process. Drupal comes out of the box with the ability to handle users' permissions and roles. It also comes with a content moderation system, which simply needs to be enabled and configured. All Drupal features around groups and roles can be enhanced with custom code to match requirements. Let's jump in and talk a bit about why we selected Gatsby for this project. Having a React-based framework means that learning and working with Gatsby is readily accessible to a world of JavaScript developers. My experience with Gatsby is that it makes things easy for me as a developer versus coding common needs from scratch. Gatsby plugins and themes are key to having solutions readily accessible to developers. The Gatsby content mesh standardizes data workflows for a great developer experience. I think it is key to maintain and improve websites and applications efficiently. Gatsby standardizes how all content is pulled into the front-end site and displayed. This improves the speed of maintenance and new feature work for the front-end codebase. Gatsby Cloud provides fast and reliable Gatsby builds for both the publish and preview websites. It is easy to use, and the university benefits by having Gatsby Cloud builds deployed to the best-in-class edge network. One thing I appreciate is Gatsby Cloud is always improving. Content editors being able to preview pixel-perfect previews was a project requirement. Gatsby Cloud and the Gatsby Drupal module allow viewing the full pixel-perfect preview in Drupal. Content editors can also preview unpublished revisions in Drupal. Drupal is the Content Hub driving API endpoints for the campus sites consuming news content, Gatsby Cloud for the publish and preview builds, and also Drupal pushes campus alerts to Firebase, and Gatsby will then pick these up via a WebSocket connection for display in real time on the main site. We leverage AWS S3 for image optimization. When an image is requested for the first time by a web user, image styles are generated by Drupal and saved to S3. Then those images are available for subsequent users. You'll notice that there's separate Git repos for Drupal and Gatsby development. This allows those teams to work independently on new features and bug fixes. When it comes to scaling with Gatsby, we have some high-level goals, and they are for the platform to deliver consistent and reliable builds. Remember, we have over 65,000 news stories and 111,000 images. So hitting these goals involves tuning code and services around the Gatsby front-end and Drupal back-end. Some specific goals: Gatsby publish build times need to be under 5 minutes on average. Campus emergencies and some other news feeds need to publish very quickly. Gatsby preview build times need to be in seconds for the best content editor experience. I would like to share some of the Gatsby framework and cloud features and technical approaches that allowed us to meet our goals. The Gatsby LMDB store feature leverages an embedded data store to keep memory usage low. This was key to keeping the project's memory usages lower overall. This is really a great plug-and-play feature. It is worth giving it a go. After all of our Drupal data has been fetched by Gatsby, there is a step where queries need to set up page data necessary for the site build. By leveraging the new parallel query running in Gatsby 4, Gatsby is able to use the LMDB store to share data very quickly for multiple query workers running queries simultaneously on different CPUs. This feature provides a significant performance improvement for our Gatsby Cloud published builds. When it comes to preview builds in Gatsby Cloud, we needed to meet a goal of having incremental previews render in seconds versus minutes. We were able to do this by limiting our preview queries to only run stories edited in the past year. This was a good reminder for our development team to review queries when they are taking too long to run during the build process. With more than 65,000 articles, we have to think about any place that we can shave off significant build time. This project has a pretty large sitemap and many RSS feeds generated for taxonomy tags. We noticed that builds took a good bit longer processing this many RSS feeds and all of that sitemap data. To help speed up builds, our team recommended that we only process certain plugins between 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The only exception is that we do build everything during full builds. When you need to scale a Gatsby site, it can be helpful to think about long-running tasks that you do not need to run on every incremental build. The university news site needs to publish immediate campus alerts in a banner component at the top of all pages. The data for alerts is pulled from a Firebase Cloud Firestore instance right in the browser. No need to wait for a build for getting out important information to the campus. When planning architecture for a Gatsby site, it is worthwhile to list all API data sources, noting factors that will help dictate which sources need to be sourced during Gatsby builds and which sources can be leveraged on demand in the client browser. So far, we've talked about features available in the Gatsby framework and our usage to help scale the university's news site. At this point, I see the framework as one part of the equation for the success of the project. Another aspect of the project's success has been utilizing Gatsby Cloud. We had to investigate a number of other hosting scenarios, and we were not able to scale those successfully in the same ways we were with Gatsby Cloud. While you can certainly host Gatsby with other hosting options, I think there is a key advantage with Gatsby Cloud and how it's tuned specifically to work best and scale with the Gatsby framework. At Mediacurrent, we want to spend more time solving business challenges and not worrying about hosting. Having Gatsby support the infrastructure has been key. During our project build, Gatsby released Gatsby hosting on a global edge network. This solved the challenges we had and sets us up for future success as continued Gatsby Cloud improvements occur. For the production release of our project, Gatsby Cloud publish and preview builds share the same file cache, which makes sense for most sites, since our publish and preview file caches would vary significantly. Not publishing previews older than a year, we were advised to separate our publish and preview builds into separate Gatsby Cloud sites. This was a big help for our preview builds. In addition, we take advantage of many custom environment variables set up in Gatsby Cloud to control which environment does what and when. Some examples of this include the previously discussed after-hours RSS and sitemap builds, where we depend on determining if the current build is incremental or full. We also only build storybook living style guides on our stage publish environment. That's for QA and UAT purposes. We don't want to build that on the production site to save time. So there are many other features we benefit from with Gatsby Cloud, such as incremental builds, but we also look forward to implementing additional features in the future. One thing I've witnessed is Gatsby's commitment to always improving cloud and the surrounding services. The new platform built for the university news site benefits from Drupal and Gatsby open source communities. The Drupal community provided the core Drupal code and many contributed modules. In addition, the Drupal community provided support and patches that helped the platform launch. At the same time, the Gatsby community was heavily involved in improving the Gatsby source plugins and providing necessary plugins to ensure the front end is fast, accessible, and provides good SEO results. While it makes good business sense to utilize open source, as can be seen in the examples discussed, Mediacurrent and Gatsby have partnered to be even more committed to contributing back to open source and the Gatsby source Drupal plugin and Drupal's Gatsby integration module with patches and improvements. One example of this partnership is that we were able to pull improvements from the university project and other open source contributions to the new 2.0.0 release of the Gatsby integration module for Drupal. This is open source working. If you'd like to help with this project and others related to Drupal and Gatsby integrations, please reach out in the Drupal Slack Gatsby channel or get involved in the Gatsby modules issue queue. You may be asking what's next for this project. We're looking forward to exploring Gatsby 4's deferred static generation to allow the site to render content on demand at runtime. At the same time, server-side rendering is something we want to explore for certain content types. We're also looking forward to improving Gatsby Cloud preview builds with Drupal for a faster and improved user experience. While we're currently leveraging Drupal to process image styles and storing them in Amazon S3, the team's looking at options to take this burden off of the Drupal infrastructure and process images more efficiently. I wanted to wrap up with some high-level takeaways from the project. I have found the best Gatsby experience by using the full ecosystem, including Gatsby Framework and Gatsby Cloud. In the future, this would probably include additional Gatsby services as they are evaluated and released. In addition, make sure that part of the ecosystem that you check out is the Gatsby documentation. I find that many questions are easily answered by going to the docs first. And speaking of that documentation, they publish great details on the Gatsby framework releases. It's well worth reviewing those docs around release time and knowing exactly what's been added and improved. Not just for major releases, but there's really nice additions for minor releases as well. And from that, I've learned that just keeping those components up to date is really important. Not just the Gatsby framework, but also keep things like Drupal Gatsby integration module and the Gatsby source plugins that you may use. Just as Mediacurrent is heavily involved in the open source Drupal community, we're getting more and more involved in the Gatsby open source community. This gives us a chance to contribute back improvements and take part in the future of Gatsby and Drupal integrations. Thank you for checking out this session. Feel free to connect with me on any questions around the presentation and related project. I am at Shrop on Twitter, GitHub, Instagram, most places on the net. So don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Ready for the live Q&A? Let's go.
Hello again. I'm here with Mark Shropshire, who you just heard from, and the chat and the Q&A were pretty lively. So welcome, Mark. How are you?
Thanks so much. Doing great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lacey.
Yeah. We're super happy to have you back. I know you have been at Gatsby and talking to our crew a lot lately, especially about this site that you just talked about. So it's really cool to have you here presenting and talking about it publicly with everyone. Do you mind answering a few questions? Because I've got a couple for you, maybe more.
Sure. Love to answer questions. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to jump right in then, if that's all right. With some from the community. John wanted to know, will you be considering the newly announced image CDN on Gatsby Cloud?
I am very excited about the announcement of this product. Most definitely. The project has over 111,000 images, and included in those are a lot of image styles. So we really need an improved solution for that.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm glad we could help, I guess.
No, I'm just excited. I know it's beta, I believe it was announced, but we will be working to test with that and get that rolling.
Yeah, nice. Test it, push it to the limit. All the feedback, we will work into it. So awesome. Glad you're excited about that. Another question we got, and this one's a little bit longer, so I'm literally just going to read it. It's from Mark.
Okay.
He said, longtime Drupal fan, but have yet to encounter a scenario where it made sense to combine a front end like Gatsby with a beast like Drupal or WordPress for that matter. So much overhead. Why? Thoughts?
Well, first of all, I absolutely love that question. It's something that every project start that we do at Mediacurrent, we actually ask ourselves that. Does this project make sense to be fully a Drupal project, or does it make sense to decouple? And in this particular project, the higher ed institution involved was already a Drupal, basically a Drupal institution. They have open source in their blood and have been using that for a long time, familiar with Drupal. So that was part of it. The other part was they had a partnership with Acquia, so they had that covered as far as hosting on the Drupal side. But I think the high level piece is with Drupal, we have the advantages of Drupal, right? We don't have to write any of the code and modules to have users and roles and groups and to add SSO to the project. And it has a great content moderation capability that I mentioned in the talk, I believe, and things like that make it where it's like easy to put Drupal together as that content authoring experience that's really great, and then match it up against all the advantages of having a decoupled front end. And those are like security and performance and just a modern web front end with React Storybook and things like that. Yeah,
great. Okay, and you did cover a lot of that in your talk. So of course, I know you're open to more questions about it, but we will be sharing this talk right after GatsbyConf is over on the GatsbyConf page, so people can also watch it again. And I believe we were just chatting backstage about this. You all are going to be at DrupalCon as well. Yes. So they can show up there, chat with you there about it. This is an amazing, huge project that everybody has been impressed with. And I'm sure that there was a lot of learnings from it that you could share. I think I have time for... Actually, I don't think I have time for one more question. So where is the best place for people to connect with you? Hopefully you're sticking around here at GatsbyConf the rest of the day. Or
I am. And actually, if folks want to join us in the Mediacurrent Lounge, they can check us out, and I'll be there following this. We'll talk a little bit more. And you can check us out at mediacurrent.com. I am at Shrop on Twitter and all the other things.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Definitely go meet with the Mediacurrent team, including Mark here in the Mediacurrent sponsor lounge. You can chat on video just the way what we're doing right now if you want, or just audio. And then also at the sponsor booth, there is chat in the booth. So you can reach out anywhere. Thank you so much, Mark.
Thanks, Lacey.
Yeah, see you later. All right, and we are now going to take a longer break. So poke around again, go check out those sponsor lounges. You can speak to Mediacurrent or any of the other sponsors that are here at Gatsby Conf today, and also meet some new folks. Why not make a new friend? There's a lot of people here. And then join me and JD around 1:30 p.m. Pacific, which I believe is in about 25 minutes-ish. And we're going to be raffling off more prizes. So definitely meet us there. And then we're also going to be bringing to the stage Gatsby Director of Product, Joel Smith, with a deeper dive into some of those announcements Dustin made earlier about Gatsby Cloud. So I'll see you soon. Bye.